Thank you, Ron Gutierrez. So in Unity, we like to celebrate the light and when the light is shining. And I just want to let you know, because we're holding a vision here today for that song. Did you enjoy that song? So that song is being released on Tuesday on CD Baby and iTunes. And it's special because the songwriter is here with us in the sanctuary this morning, Bob Gagney. And the producer is right up there in the sound booth, Steve, at Soundgate Productions. And our very own Ron Gutierrez is on that CD. So it's already hitting the radio and hitting the charts. In Unity, we love seeing creative visions expand and unfold. So I think we're going to be really supporting this song just going all the way around the world. So thank you for sharing it with us. So it is my pleasure and my delight to introduce to you Reverend Kevin Ross. Thank you, Kevin, for being here. Come on up. You might notice that there's one thing Kevin and I really share in common in the Unity movement, and that is that of a lot of amazing and absolutely fantastic ministers, we are two of the very few that are in our age range. So, so we just like to say right on, and it is just a blessing to have you here in this sacred sanctuary this morning.
Thank you. Good morning. Can you hear me? First of all, I want to acknowledge your outstanding, amazing minister again. I must tell you, what she didn't say is that she is among the best and brightest voices in our entire Unity movement, and you are blessed to have her here. I just want you to know that. I'm just saying, yeah. We met at the convention this past, whenever in Detroit. And it was like we had just jumped off the grid. I was like, wait, really? She actually exists? Someone like her is on the planet? Yeah. And it just gave me this renewed sense about my own mission and my own ministry. And we just made an agreement that we get to play together in this field called Unity in this world of transformation. And so we're going to borrow her and have her come to Sacramento, too. Would that be all right? All right, we're going to loan her back to you after that, but give her some more love. Let's just take a moment to declare an affirmation to charge the spiritual environment where we will do our work today. Let's affirm together. I'm in the right place, at the right time, with the right people to receive my good. Do you believe it? Try it again. I'm in the right place, at the right time, with the right people to receive my good. High five at least two people and say, you go for it. Go ahead and tell them, you go for it. Give yourselves a hand, absolutely. It's known that within the last 6 months of a person arriving to a church for the very first time, they've experienced some form of crisis. They've gone through some terrible challenge or something that has in some way rocked them to the very core. And when people come into our Unity communities, they feel a sense of having come home. Who knows that feeling when you walked in? That'll be 100% of us, it appears. And I don't know where you are at this stage of your unfoldment right now, but whatever you are going through and growing through, I want you to know right here and right now that you are in the right place at the right time with the right people to receive your good. I want you to know that this moment is not a dress rehearsal. Say, there are no dress rehearsals. Come on, say, there are no dress rehearsals. That right here, your life is happening now, and if you would be willing to open yourself to it, something amazing can happen in your life this very day. Something extraordinary could occur in your life that would not have happened otherwise. If you would be open and receptive to this moment. Say, I'm open and receptive. Come on. To this moment, yeah. She's a straight A student over there. If you be open and receptive to this moment. So whatever you might be carrying with you, maybe you're experiencing the crunch of the economic, semi-economic downturn. Maybe you've experienced the transition of a loved one who has moved on into the inner realms. Maybe you are overcoming a health challenge in your life right now. Maybe you are struggling with how am I going to reach my child or my grandchild. Maybe you're struggling with how am I going to get through to my parents to have them understand me once and for all. Maybe you're trying to sweep off your in-laws from your house after a long Thanksgiving visit. I don't know what you're going through. But I want you to know that this moment is filled with all of the possibility that's required. And in this very room, there's a consciousness that has been established for your good. Are you open to receive it? Yes. We are in the second Sunday of Advent. And as we enter this Advent season, as we participate in this Advent season, this is a time of anticipation. It's a time of hope. It's a time of reflection. It's a time of repentance, of thinking again, of shaking off everything that would prevent us from making contact with the Christ of our awareness, the Christ of our being. And there's some things that when we move through life, it seems that sometimes we're not going to get to that Christed side of ourselves. Sometimes we spend a lot of time in that preparation stage. Anybody been preparing? I'm getting ready to get ready. Ever get ready to be the Christ? Getting ready to get ready. Well, and what happens is that we have felt the pain and the push and the prodding of life, and we make those pains and pushes and prodding of life seem as though it's against us. But the truth is that it has not come to happen to you, it's come to happen for you. That whatever you're going through, don't just go through it, be willing to grow through it. That it's happening what? Come on, for me. It's happening for me. I can't hear you. Say, it's happening for me. Rev Kevin doesn't feel like that. You don't have the wife I have, man. She doesn't feel like she's happening for me. You don't have the job I have. This is not happening for me. But I'm saying to you today, it's happening for you. You are an unfolding idea in the mind of spirit. And everything that is coming into your experience is shaping you. It's carving the diamond that is hidden in the rough. And I can't approach the manger until I'm willing to take off and shake off anything and everything that will prevent the Christ from seeing me and from me seeing the Christ. Who knows what I'm talking about this morning? And so in this Advent season, one of the things that we wish to do, and what's important for us to do, is to begin to lighten up, for crying out loud. I know you feel like you're the only one sometimes, but lighten up. Why? Because we have this faculty of renunciation that gives us the ability to forgive ourselves for our past mistakes, forgive ourselves for our past failure to make the best decisions, forgive ourselves for what might be keeping us from our highest good and greatest joy. Yes? Sometimes you're going to make a mistake. And in Unity, we want you to know that those mistakes are not saying that you are a worthless sinner. Hello? But your willingness to recognize this, to recognize who you really are, is helping you to understand that you're not a worthless sinner, but you're a divine center in which and through which the activity of God is waiting to burst forth. But you're so married to your story so committed to your past. And so you drag your past to the manger, looking for a savior to save you. And the Christ child is saying, neither will I accuse you. Go and sin no more. Set yourself free. Are you hearing me? Yes. Come on, say, I forgive myself. For forgetting myself. I free myself from this point forward. Come on. Preparation to meet the Christ. Forgiving yourself. And then you might ask yourself, like this young man who hadn't made it to a Unity church. He felt the crunch. He was a young businessman in Alaska. I happen to know a good friend of his, and he felt the crunch. And he was not succeeding in business. And the only thing he could think of to do to prevent the embarrassment, to prevent the so-called shame, to prevent the financial ruin, was to take his life. And his daughter found him hanging with a belt from the ceiling. That was the only option that he had out of his pain. And so I made a commitment at that point to make sure that everybody knew what I knew. See, apparently he didn't have the knowledge that you have and sometimes that we take for granted. That when we are taught, and as I was when I was growing up, I always love to tell this, when I was a little boy in first grade, they told us to stand up and say something about ourselves. So I stood up and said, my name is Kevin Cottrell Ross, and I'm a unique, unrepeatable miracle of God. The teacher said, what manner of child is this? This is going to be a long year with this boy. Taking that teaching for granted, that was what Johnny Coleman taught me as I grew up in Chicago. But this young man did not have that awareness, and so there's a reason why we continue to gather to remind you of who you are. You are here meant to shine. Those qualities that are within you. You say, well, Rev Kev, it's your generation's turn. It's time for you to stand up and do your... No. You're still inhaling and exhaling and taking up space. And you got breath in you and body on you. There's work left for you to do. You and I are in the express business. And it's our business to be expressing the love, the peace, the harmony, the joy, the qualities of spirit wherever we are. And I wish that this young man had an opportunity to meet a Reverend Aaron to say to him, wait a minute. A setback is just a setup for a comeback. You've got comeback power in you. There was no Unity Church around, and so he took his own life, setting an example for his own child to believe that the way out is to end it. I believe that we're all born to shine. I believe that we need to give ourselves more permission to do that. I have had the privilege of, I'm going to just be honest with you. Can I just keep it 100 with you today? I've had the privilege of experiencing some phenomenal dreams come true. And it was because of the consciousness that I was reared in. I grew up at Christ Unity Temple in Chicago, Illinois, where Dr. Johnny Coleman was a senior minister. And in that environment, it gave me this great imagination that I could do and dream and be anything that I want to be. And that this Christ child was not locked in the pages of a leather-bound, gold-trimmed book, but that Christ child was locked inside of me. And so I've been able to travel the world everywhere I've ever wanted to go. I've been able to travel the world. I've met everybody I've ever wanted to meet so far, from Mandela to the Dalai Lama to Oprah Winfrey to you name it. I've got to do it. And it started with the idea that I was designed to shine. I was born to shine. And so are you. Say, I'm born to shine. What I discovered is that people get turned off when you get turned on. Did you hear me? Yeah. Don't come around here shining. All that shining. Come around here all successing and everything. I don't have time for your success, all the stuff I'm going through. You see, people don't need someone to join them in the pity party. They need an example of what it looks like and what it feels like to be the Christ on this earth plane. And some of us, just a few of us, need to give ourselves a little more permission. Because there are very few volunteers who are willing to stand up and say, I'll show up and be exhibit A of what evidence that God, the presence of love, is working in the world. You need a poster child for what prosperity is? Pick me! I'll be the poster child. Are you hearing me? Yes. And you have that same potential. And so the journey toward the manger, the journey toward that Christ, is to help us to evolve what has been involved. Say it with me, come on. We're here to what? Evolve what has been involved. We're here to evolve that. We're here to shape that. We're here to form that and make it be its own unique expression. I think about my children, my own children, and how they're evolving me every day. There are like 4 gray hairs here. 2 for one of my daughters, because she earned them. 1 for my other daughter, and then 1 for my son. And then my wife, I just cover those up with Clairol or something. I don't want anybody to see those. No, but my children remind me every day that they have unlimited potential, and they don't know that they don't know that they cannot succeed at whatever they attempt. They don't know that they're not to be loved unconditionally by life. Do you know, for them to discover that they're not meant to be loved unconditionally and that they're not meant to be here for something dynamic, that they would have to learn that from one of us? And they open themselves up with such great love and entitlement. What if we had that sense of connection with our source, that I'm entitled to every good thing that my source has, like my daughter Angelina, who wakes up in the morning, she runs into the bedroom with a smile, and she begins to talk to me, and she charms me, and then she asks me, yes, my love. So I'm still going to be able to do the dance classes and get the new dress that has the fluffy things on it with the pink, right, Papa? Did you ask your mother? See, I believe in appealing to a higher authority. But here's the piece. That when I have my connection established with my source, I am not fearful to place a demand upon the universal supply, and the universal supply must say yes, because it has to meet me at the point of my consciousness. What frequency am I operating as I move toward the manger? Is it such a low frequency that my good can't reach me there? Or am I sure to see the Christ every visit? I have to correct myself. I don't believe that we were born to shine. We were sent to shine. There's something about being born that seems a little less than our divine nature. Because after you've been through it all on this earth plane, you start to ask the question, well, what is it all about, really? You start to look at your life and say, where am I really headed now? You know, it's the end, it's the bottom of the ninth, bases loaded, 2012, right now, about to be 2013. Special announcement, if you haven't gotten started on your resolutions and your commitments from the beginning of the year, you've got a few days left to get on it. But we begin to reflect on ourselves. We begin to reflect. Ask ourselves, well, what is it all about? And we have to reconnect with the truth in that we are sent here to be representatives for the source of all good. And when you're sent, you operate with a level of purpose. You operate with a level of intentionality. You operate with a commitment that cannot be broken by circumstance. You stop telling your big problems about your little God, and you start telling your big problems about your, big God. That circumstance start to quiver when you come around. Say, I'm meant to be here. Look at yourself. Just touch yourself. I'm meant to be here. I am sent to be here. Come on, I'm sent. And so since you are sent, and you know you're here to evolve all of the gifts that have been embedded in you and dropped in your awareness, then go to the Christ of your being, bearing gifts. The gifts of your talent, the gifts of your beauty, the gifts of your speech, the gifts of your dance, the gift of your song. Do you know that there was tambourine shaking in Unity Village Chapel today? I'm just saying, I don't know if you noticed that, bearing gifts in here. And then as you make contact with that divine potential, that Christ that is within you, you will raise the vibration for everyone, everywhere, so that wherever you work, whatever your relationship is, whatever you're going through, you are now bringing to that situation the light everywhere. Unafraid, unapologetic, not worming down, but remembering that this is my role. You don't like your job? Stop complaining about your job. Start blessing it. Blast some light on it. Here's what you do Monday morning, go back to work, open the door up, and send your presence in before you. Just bless every department. Oh, I'm telling you, this works. You got some consciousness, this will work. Send your presence in before you to bless every department. Everybody that you don't get along with, everybody that you made up stories about in that man, send your presence in before you. And then walk into your own consciousness of love and generosity and consideration and compassion. Walk into a consciousness that you establish so that if you leave that job, you take with you a consciousness that you establish. Geography won't make the difference, but your consciousness moving to another level, moving to another dimension will. Have you got it? Wherever I am, there I go. Together, come on. Wherever I am, there I go. So we have an opportunity on this journey to use what we've gained, to use what we've gleaned from our experiences to make more of us, to reveal more that is within us, to shine so brilliantly that it dives deep into the soul of others and unlocks the vault where the light switch is. And so they can't hold back anymore. I got to have a little, whatever that is you got, Aaron, I want a little bit of it. I'm tired of being jealous of you. I just got to have some of what you've got. I just got to have some of that. I want some of that, Aaron. I'm ready to shine too. Me too. Yeah. This is what Matthew 5:16 is saying. Let your light so shine. Let your light so shine. Let your light, not somebody else's light, don't be a fan. Let your light so shine among men that they may see, because people, that's why the guy committed suicide. He couldn't see the light. Let your light so shine among men that they may see your works and then glorify the Father which is in heaven. And so it is written. And so I have spoken, and so you have heard it, and so it is. God bless you, and Merry Christmas, everyone. God bless you. You rock.
Ooh, are we happy?